A lot of people making a big deal because CP3, Chris Paul, point guard extraordinaire, one of the top 6 or 7 point guards in the history of basketball, as far as I'm concerned. That CP3, that Chris Paul, is a member of the Golden State Warriors. And I understand that when we look at him and we look at his greatness as a 12-time All-Star. We look at his greatness as one of the quintessential, purest point guards the game has ever seen. We look at the Golden State Warriors with their championship pedigree, with Steph Curry still there, with Klay Thompson still there, with Draymond Green still there. We see all of this. We see all of it, okay? And we say, damn, Chris Paul being there, I mean, it can't, please, they're going to be just fine. I'm not saying they're not going to be a good team. I'm not saying they're not going to take on greatness. I'm not saying that he's not going to do his thing to some degree because he is an elite performer. I'm simply saying that I question whether or not that was the right and the ideal fit for this franchise. I said it when it happened, and I'm going to say it again. Now, in their preseason opener against the Los Angeles Lakers, a game in which they won, he did some things. He did some things very, very productively. Major props to him. I'm happy for him. Chris Paul showed up. And he showed out. And as a result, that was a beautiful thing. 6 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds in just 13 minutes. Congratulations. Who cares? Chris Paul could do that in his sleep. He's that great. The issue is, what kind of a fit is he going to be for the Golden State Warriors? I got a producer on this show. His name is Greg. Greg, good kid. Curly hair, I don't know about that. I don't know. He might need to get rid of that curly afro, but that's a different subject for another day. Looks better with his facial hair than he does without it. You're young. Young whippersnapper, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. Brother knows his basketball, though. He gets a bit biased and a bit emotional when it comes to his Warriors because they pass gas. He calls it perfume. He doesn't really accept and embrace who they are and what they are all about. His name is Greg Holzman, for those of you who don't know. Look him up. I'm throwing his last name out there, too, because he's a good kid. I love him. But breath smelling like Similac on this issue. And this dude is going to sit up there and talk to me about they're going to be perfect and Chris Paul is going to be the key when they win the championship. And he's thinking like a lot of Golden State Warriors fans are thinking, because guess what? You got Chris Paul to spearhead the second unit. Bob Myers ain't there any longer. He's going to be with me on NBA Countdown for ABC this season, okay? But in his place is Mike Dunleavy Jr., who is his successor, running basketball operations. The great Steve Kerr is still there. There's no doubt. One of the top 5 coaches in the history of basketball. And I know the man knows what he's doing. He said he hasn't decided what he's going to do. Here's my trepidation. Chris Paul is not one that you need to push the pace. He's 38 years of age. He turns 39 in May, if I remember correctly. Steph Curry turns 36, I believe, in March. Klay Thompson is going to be 34 in May. I might be wrong on those specific dates. I got to look that up. But I got to tell you something right now. I am concerned. Yes, Steph Curry, March 14th, he'll turn 36 years of age. I was right about that. Okay? I was right about that. I'm just wondering about it. And I'm saying to myself, what are you going to do? Klay Thompson, he turns 34, February 8th. And of course, CP3. We know this. He turns 39 years of age May 6th in his 19th season in the NBA. That brother don't need to be running up and down the court. He don't need to be pushing the ball up and down the court. And if you're the Golden State Warriors, you need to push the ball up the floor. You need to unleash that aerial assault that they could throw in your direction. You got Andrew Wiggins with Draymond, with Kevon Looney, and we know he can play. We know he's made a tremendous contribution. I thought they needed another big at the 4 to 5 spot to spell for Draymond Green because the combination of him and Looney are just too small. That's why the Lakers were able to beat him. And I'm looking at CP3, and you need the development and the growth to take place with Jonathan Kuminga, and Moody. I get it. I understand it. And having a floor general and a leader like Chris Paul cannot hurt. He is not a liability on any team. He is an asset. But I'm saying, we all know he's been perpetually injured. And we know the pace of play that the Golden State Warriors usually implement could serve as an impediment to the success they hope to have. And I'm looking at CP3 and I'm like, I don't know how he gets through this season completely healthy. And that's what I mean about Greg, my producer, one of my producers, who's wet behind the ears. He really thinking that CP3, who's been perpetually injured throughout his young 30s, at the age of 39, suddenly going to be on a faster paced team, and he going to get through the season without smear, meaning without being injured. Come on, stop. I'm just not sold, y'all. I'm just not sold. Let me tell you what we need to stop being sold on more than anything like that. I hope I'm wrong because I love Golden State, and Steph Curry is my favorite player in the world to watch. And CP3 is one of the best people I know in the game of basketball. I love him. So I'm wishing him nothing but the best, but I just got my reservations about this.